This Friday, Jamie Lee Curtis and Lindsay Lohan are back to switch things up in Disney's Freakier Friday.
Totally. Yes.
It's an absolute riot. Woo! And the only movie that can be described as
so much weirder than the last time. What last time?
It's the frequel.
You ready?
We've been waiting for.
That absolutely slays.
What deeply out of touch old person came up with that?
You did.
Wow.
Don't miss the comedy event of the summer for all ages. Disney's Freakier Friday. In theaters this Friday. Get tickets now. Rated PG. Parental guidance suggested.
This episode is brought to you by Nordstrom. Summer's almost out and fall's calling. Luckily, Nordstrom has everything you need for the season ahead, all under $100. Discover new arrivals from your favorite brands like Mango, Princess Polly, Wave, Free People, BDG, and more. Whether you're planning a last-minute getaway, heading back to class, or refreshing your office looks, you'll find the latest trends and beauty must-haves without breaking your budget. It's easy, too, with free shipping, free returns, and in-store order pickup. Shop today, in stores, and at Nordstrom.com.
This episode is brought to you by Espolón Tequila. Slow, sticky, snoozy. They call these the dog days of summer. But Espolón? They don't do boring. Welcome to the Marg Days. Espolón Tequila. 100% blue Weber agave, born to shake up your summer. Just add lime, agave, and a little attitude. Visit EspolónTequila.com. Espolón Tequila, 40% alcohol, volume 80 proof. Copyright 2025 Campari America, New York, New York. Drink responsibly.
Born ready.
Fantastic. All right. 3, 2, 1. Hello. Welcome back, Criminal Mischief Nation, to another bonus episode of Criminal Mischief with Carolyn and Branden. I am the Branden of that duo, along with the great Carolyn Osorio. As always, she's gracing us with her presence. Carolyn, how are you?
Fabulous. Fabulous.
All right. Did you have a good week?
I had a really good week. I'm like, it's a weird kind of nesting that I'm doing. It's like, my husband, or not my husband, my daughter's getting married, and we're having this huge reception with like 70 people at our house. And so maybe possibly it could even be higher than that. Anyway, I'm not focusing on that because that would like freak me out. But
yeah,
I've been doing a lot of things that I haven't done because, we've had a kid house for so long where it's like, there's like crayon markers here or this or, you know what I mean? And so it's like kind of redoing a bunch of stuff. So it's kind of fun, but it's kind of stressful.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I ran into the Newark airport buzzsaw of canceled flights and late departures. Brutal. I've been in New York working and the night before I'm leaving, my flight's canceled and I get the text. Yeah. And I'm like, oh, great. And then as I'm going to bed, I get a text that it's been replaced with another flight, but I don't have a seat assignment. And then I get there and I don't have a seat. And then it's delayed. Then I get a seat. But it all worked out.
What?
It all worked out. At the end of the day, it was much ado about just a 2.5 hour delay. And then everything was fine. Like but it made everybody like super nervous, right? Is the plane even going to go? Is it not going to go? Is it, yeah.
Oh my gosh. You're giving me anxiety.
Yeah, I know. And then I get here and I'm like, at least listen, I'm a 20-minute train ride from my hotel. And then I get off the plane and I remembered that New Jersey Transit's on strike. Like, So it went from like, $12 in the train to like $140 in an Uber that took, 2.5 hours to go 6 miles because of the traffic through the Lincoln Tunnel. I mean, it was just the trip here was pretty brutal. Yeah, but it's great. It's springtime in New York. It's been beautiful weather.
I was sitting here thinking, well, you've got an advantage. You're like a Jersey boy. You would know what to do in this situation. But
sometimes
there's like everybody else. You're going to pay for $140 Uber.
Sometimes there's nothing you can do. When you realize how important these services are when they go on strike.
And they know it. Yeah,
and they know it too. Yeah, I heard that they might have reached a deal today. But anyway, let's get to this. Let's get to the episode. This was terrific. First of all, I love the cop you've been talking about because he talks about arrests as pinches. He had a couple pinches. He got pinched. He got pinched a couple times.
I knew you were going to love that.
Love it. And then I'm really confused and now a little worried about something that I always thought that your juvenile record was sealed.
I know. Last week when you were like, he's good, I'm good.
I guess I'm not good. So you can just go into the juvenile record. It looks like. What is it? Why was I told it was sealed? So there's a few people I need to talk to about that.
I
Okay.
was like thinking he is gonna be so triggered by this. This is gonna
I'm
be so
very,
fun.
I'm very triggered by this, uh, because I understand about if you're want to be in like the Secret Service, but like protecting the president. Okay, I get it.
Mhm.
But if I'm a suspect in something and they want to know about my, like they can, I guess now I'm learning they can go into my juvenile record and see some shit because
I mean,
that's how they built him as a suspect, right?
it's it's a good thing that you didn't know this at the time, or maybe you might have, you might have been.
Like that's where they got the whole Camp
You
Hill
know what? I
thing.
had here's the thing. Here's what I think happened. When they found Carl Gugasian, they looked at him and did a complete criminal background on this guy.
Yeah,
And if he was in the military, I don't know if they fingerprint you when you go into the military.
they
So
do. Yeah.
and so okay, so they could have gotten his prints there. They also could have gotten his prints. He was pinched for um
He took a pinch. Yeah, he took a
um
pinch. He took a pinch.
for something else. And so I think that like I don't know how much of the juvenile record was I think they had access to it because clearly they knew about it. They made
Yeah.
the connection to Camp Hill before they interviewed him. So that tells me that they had access to it.
Yeah, they totally had access to it. They
Yeah.
totally had access to it, which I'm
Yeah.
very uncomfortable with. Um, and now, and he went out running fully clothed with a heavy backpack on. They call that rucking. That's like a big health thing nowadays in LA. You see these idiots like running up the hill with like a 40-pound backpack on. Like, I'm rucking. I'm like, okay, go ahead, go ruck yourself. But that's what like this guy was
Oh,
doing it like years ago, and it reminded me. And I would want to ask him, but it was after he was already a criminal by the time this movie came out. The movie, oh man, not Heist. Might have been Heist. It was with Brando, De Niro, and Ed Norton when they robbed the customs warehouse in Montreal.
mm,
And and one thing that Norton did was that he would practice sprinting
mhm.
from the place to his getaway car with the weight of the item on his back.
Yeah,
Right.
well,
So on
clearly
the
that's what this guy is doing, but
right.
he did
So
it
on the
before the
day,
movie.
yeah, so exactly. So on the
Yeah.
day, he could do it. And he knew exactly how long it would take him, and he had the endurance to do it. And so that's what this reminded me of. But what I didn't know and was really glossed over was that during one of these robberies, he shot a teller, like he shot someone in the course of a robbery, and he
Yeah,
still and he still got a reduced sentence. That's fucked up.
well,
That's
there's a couple of things that they think that he
okay.
did. Okay, so I just didn't want to get into the weeds of it, and I don't mean to
Yeah.
be like callous about it, but it's like he said during his confession that the gun accidentally discharged, or that he cocked it, but it was before the robbery began, and he was just kind of messing around and didn't realize that it went off and that it shot this guy in the stomach and all that. Then the other thing that he did was and he didn't admit to this robbery, but they think that he was responsible for shooting a police officer in the shoulder and by his artery there. But he didn't admit that he did it. And then when the guy, I guess the guy had the bullet, they couldn't take it out. It was like in 1990,
Uh-huh.
1990 something. And that he eventually died from that bullet because it was in there for like 30 years. But he would
Wow.
not talk to that bank robbery and didn't even want to talk about it. He's like, it wasn't me, you know, because
Wow.
that would have been murder if that would have been, he would not have gotten out, but they had nothing to tie him to that, you know.
Something else I didn't know, there was only a 5-year statute of limitations on federal bank robbery.
No, isn't that crazy?
That's weird.
It's
That's
weird
weird.
because
And
they
and it
thought,
also it also reinforced what my lawyer friend up the street when I lived in Hollywood told me that if you need money, do it once, you'll never get caught. And that just keeps getting reinforced over and over again. This guy did it.
I know,
He
but then
chickened out.
if you do get caught,
Uh,
you're in for it
yeah,
because they
sure.
have their federal sentences, and it's like
Yeah,
as he said, there's no wiggle room, you
but
know.
sure, of course. That two friends of mine from high school did 40 years each. are still in jail for they got inspired by fucking Point Break when we were all 18 years old, and they said we could totally do this,
I
and
remember
they
you said
and
that.
they did it, and they did it, and they
Didn't
hit
you say
four.
his sister turned him
The
in?
sister turned them in. They hit four banks. They had the masks. They had shotguns and duffel bags full of money, and it was winter time. And Mike's sister was looking for her snowboard pants that she thought were in his closet. So she was digging around in his closet and found a bag of money, masks, and the shotguns. And she thought he was going to get shot and die during the course of a robbery. So she turned him in to save his life. Yeah, and they went away. Yeah, fucking crazy. But barring that, they'd gotten away with it, right? They hit four banks, they made a couple hundred grand, and Mike says, and Mike Mitchell and Tim Minahan, they said that they were done. They weren't going to keep doing it. They didn't have. They hit the money that they needed to get. They had some debts. Springsteen writes, "Debts no honest man can pay," right? And they had the money to pay off the debts, and then a little. Yeah.
Okay, here's the thing. I just don't buy that. If he's robbing banks when they're a teenager and they paid their debts, they're going to get back in debt again. I mean, it's not like they're like.
You're probably right, but and maybe they were lying, but they said that they were done. But the reason it was 40 years is because they made what they got hit with. They got pinched with the charges of terrorist threats because they threatened to blow those, like, I'll blow your fucking head off. Like, as soon as you say that with a weapon in the commission of a crime, they could tack on like terrorist threats against a federal employee. So they got grown up sentences, and they deserved it. They deserved it.
Wow. Were you surprised were they? I mean, not like there's a type.
Very surprised. Totally surprised. And I mean, Mike Mitchell. My last name is Morgan. His name is Mitchell. He sat behind me in homeroom every year of high school. Like, we were homeboys. Like, I knew him. We both liked hip hop. We both, he was more of an athlete than I was. He was always in shape. Really nice kid. He loved the Beastie Boys. And Tim Minahan was a year older and an athlete, a great basketball player, like tall, skinny, like really athletic. Yeah. And I didn't know because I had left home pretty early, and it was within a year of high school that all this happened. I guess drugs, they got jammed up somehow, owing some drug dealer in New York a lot of money, and I guess they felt forced to. I don't know. That could all be bullshit. Who knows? Maybe they just thrill seeking, saw Point Break and thought they were Patrick Swayze for a minute, and.
Well, that's the thing about when I was talking to Ray about this, and I was like, I just don't buy his whole thing about his juvenile record, and that's why he felt. I mean, I feel like he was in it for the thrill, that he had to. I mean, I'm sure that was part of it with the juvenile record. I believe that he believed that, but like, he was such a smart guy. Like, you don't go to an attorney and
you could figure it out.
questions.
Exactly. You get answers before you decide to start robbing banks. But he also, it looks like he got intoxicated with that 80 grand number in his head, right? One bank robbery, 80 grand. Stayed to buy a house in Jersey for 25 grand in the 70s. I mean, that's.
Hellmann's believes they can turn any mayo hater into a lover. So, if you know someone who thinks mayo equals bland, show their taste buds the truth and challenge them to try Hellmann's flavored mayo. With irresistible flavors like Hellmann's spicy mayo, garlic aioli, chipotle, and Italian herb, they'll be eating their words. Challenge haters to try Hellmann's flavored mayo and get them to eat their words. Learn more at hellmanns.com/eatyourwords.
Now at Chipotle, our all-new Chipotle Honey Chicken brings Chipotle heat with a touch of sweet. Seared smoked peppers and savory Mexican spices, blended with a hint of pure honey for a perfectly balanced sauce. All combined with fresh, tender chicken hot off the grill, served up in your favorite burrito or bowl. New Chipotle Honey Chicken takes heat and sweet to a whole new level. But it's only at Chipotle for a limited time. Order now in the app for pickup or delivery. Chipotle, for real.
This episode is brought to you by Amazon Prime. From streaming to shopping, Prime helps you get more out of your passions. So whether you're a fan of true crime or prefer a nail-biting novel from time to time, With services like Prime Video, Amazon Music, and fast free delivery, Prime makes it easy to get more out of whatever you're into or getting into. Visit Amazon.com/Prime to learn more.
Buenos dias! Café Bustelo espresso-styled iced coffee is hitting refrigerators with a cold front that'll sweep through your senses. So keep the coffee pours long and the cool sip slow. Café Bustelo está aquí.
That's what my parents did. I think 76. Yeah.
But he did it as a young person, like 15. Like that's next level stuff. And the burglaries and like the ramping up. Like I liked it how the profile kind of fit in terms of the serial offender in the fantasy of it, the thrill, the excitement, the planning of it, and then chasing that high. Like you're always trying to get that next thing. I mean, I think that seems real with this dude more so than his record. I think that was the self-fulfilling prophecy of like, because I mean, if he robbed a bunch of banks, he could go to an attorney and say, hey, how can I get past this? How can I get these, is there something I can do where this doesn't follow me?
Right.
Like you don't just become a bank robber. Well, I guess you do.
Maybe you do. Maybe you do. I liked the human side of him, that he chickened out for like 3 weeks,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
then, and listen, criminal, he did his time, great, but it was a really, really good plan that he had, obviously, because it worked. Motorcycle in back of a van, parked super far away, separate bunkers at each spot. Fuck.
I mean, I think it's so interesting how he used that training where
Yeah.
he's like, I mean, I think it's relatable in the way of like, okay, you're gonna, you're not gonna let me do what I want to do. Okay,
Yeah.
well,
Watch
I'm gonna
this.
watch,
Yeah.
I'm going to the dark side and
Yeah.
I will have my revenge and I will use my skills and I will do this,
Like it's weird. There's some Kaczynski in him, some Unabomber level intelligence. I mean, he went to Ivy League. He went to Penn,
Mm-hmm.
okay, which is not fucking easy to get into, And
And he's
then
really smart.
yeah, that's what I'm saying. And then also there's hints of Frank Abagnale also from Catch Me If You Can, the Spielberg
Yeah,
movie with
yeah,
DiCaprio, how he
yeah.
wound up working for the FBI in the counterfeiting division, right? Like he winds up helping improve bank security because he
Mhm.
knows where all the gaps are because he robbed so many banks for 30 years,
Well, and he knew that that was his ripcord. Like, of
I can
course.
help. Yeah.
Yeah. And then he got to reveal his
Yeah.
what he
Under
did.
immunity, under like a cloak of immunity. Like, all right, the deal's done, and now I'll start telling you shit. Yeah.
Well, and Ray, I could tell that he was like he really liked him. They really became like he didn't want to say they were friends, but I could tell like
Yeah.
they were friends. He
Yeah.
liked him. He like what I didn't add in there too is that I guess Carl's father was dying and they'd
Hmm.
had this really rocky relationship and he was this taskmaster and all that stuff. But at the end of the day, it's like when your numbers up and you want to make amends and you want to get together and he like put his own self and his career at some risk and somehow getting the dad to be able to visit him because I guess he had an oxygen tank and you can't bring that into the
Oh, wow.
prison.
Yeah.
And so it was like really, it's like these relationships that are formed with people, it's like they're real,
Yeah.
like we see these interrogations sometimes and you can tell it's totally phony baloney and that, they're just trying to develop a bond with this person that they're trying to manipulate them into, revealing what they did, right?
Yeah.
So that's
Yeah.
like very transactional. But I think that all the conversations that they had over a really long time to get this full confession and to get all these details, they really forged a real relationship. And I believe
Yeah.
that,
I
you
think so
know?
too. Yeah, I think they did too. And he won't admit this guy's Jersey to the fucking bone. The way that he talks, when he goes, so I says to him, I says, or she says to me, she says, like repeating all of that. I'm like, that's like the mother tongue listening to that. I'm like, ah, yes. I'm at home, right? I'm feeling it. It was so great hearing
It
it,
was
just
so
hearing
funny
him
because
talk.
I was like, I was like, these, because it's not, I don't think it's just Jersey, because my dad did that too. Like,
Yeah,
it
he's
was,
from New York, your dad,
yeah,
right?
yeah. And yeah, so like, whenever he went in to tell a story, he's always like, so I says, that kind of like,
Right.
and he
It's
knew
very
how to,
specific. It's like, so I says to him, I says, listen,
yeah, see how you leaned in?
yeah, I say, because it's important. Okay. When I close the distance, you better fucking pay attention. All right. So I says to him, I says, listen, come here. Come here a minute. What? Shut up. Come here. So, yeah, it was
Yeah.
great. It was great listening to this guy. And he's arrested hundreds of bank robbers. That
Mhm.
surprised me. Hundreds of whatever terrorists, hundreds of yeah. I'm like that's wow. Okay.
Well, I
And
mean, in the 90s, like that was
yeah,
like
yeah. Oh,
three or
geez.
four bank robberies a day.
In Los Angeles, right? Like just in
So,
L.A. And now imagine across, the greater metropolitan New York area, right? I mean, just crazy. Yeah.
well, he
So
was in Philadelphia. He was in
yeah. So
Philadelphia.
Philly, there you go.
So he's
Philly.
like, I can see how these numbers would add up.
Yeah. I've got one thing left to talk about briefly that really stood out because it shows how police work has evolved. Uh, I don't know if it's across all precincts, but I know, but I think it's federal at least that you can't shoot at someone as they're running away from you. Okay,
Are you talking
unless
about
you
when he
know
was a kid?
when he was a
I
kid
shot him in the
running
butt. Yeah.
away and shot him. I mean, by just sheer luck, he's alive. You know
Hmm.
what I mean? Like
Oh.
could have hit an artery, could have hit whatever, a couple of 12 inches and you're in the liver or a kidney or something. It was, and that you could just shoot at a forget a juvenile, just a person that's running away from the cops.
Hmm.
Okay, that's not like a that doesn't require lethal force anymore. Like that's a big thing nowadays.
Yeah, no, I
Um,
know.
yeah. So that was strange. So he got shot in the ass. And I don't know why he was in jail at Fort Dix. Oh, federal. I guess like he had to serve federal time
Yeah,
because Fort Dix is a military base.
I think he got
McGuire Air Force Base and Fort Dix Army Base. Yeah.
I think he got shuffled around and, I mean, who knows? I don't know. I don't know what
Wow.
the deal is, but he really got a sweetheart deal because he only ended up serving like 15 years for all those robberies.
So did he have to like give money back or did he have to make
He did.
restitution or
Yeah, he had to pay, I think he $200,000 restitution, but everything else was like it had passed the statute of limitations, and he
right?
had 500 grand in his bank accounts when he was arrested, but they couldn't touch it because he was a gambler, and that's how he kind of told his friends and family of like, yeah, I'm a gambler,
Well,
I'm
this is
really
where I'm
good,
getting all my money. I'm a
yeah, on
good
my money,
gambler.
I'm a blackjack and poker, and so they believed it. I mean,
What, was you going to Atlantic City then? Like where was he
Atlantic
gambling?
City and Las Vegas, yeah. And it's weird. He just really kept to himself,
Hmm.
throughout his life. He did have a girlfriend, but he never got married and didn't have any kids and he met her ballroom dancing. Um, he was just, it, he was
What a weirdly interesting guy.
yeah, I know.
Karate,
Yeah.
special forces, ballroom dancer, bank
Yeah.
robber,
Mhm.
bachelor. Okay.
Well, he was saying in Ray's book, which I read, he said that the activities that he did were very high risk in terms of he liked rock climbing and like
Hmm.
ice climbing and the orienteering, which is really like
Right.
not
It's called
necessarily,
it's called almost getting lost in the woods is what orienteering is,
well,
right?
it's like you better know how to get out of
Yeah,
the
yeah, yeah,
woods,
yeah.
right? Yeah.
Exactly, exactly.
Yeah. So he
Uh,
really liked these kind of high risk things, and ballroom dancing would have been high risk for him
well,
because
listen, because I'm sorry to interrupt you, but you're when you're robbing banks on the regular, okay, that's an adrenaline spike.
Oh my
you
God.
know? So that's what he's chasing in other areas of his life, just
Right.
chasing that adrenaline high.
I
Yeah.
that's what I mean. So I think that yes, the juvenile record played a part, I think, in that emotional kind of like the shame of it. Like if I wouldn't have done this, but like I think he was in it for, the tactical things of being able to get these targets and like there is kind of there's something to the research of things. Like I know like in my very small way, but I really like getting into the weeds of things and
Yeah.
preparing and figuring shit out and digging into things. And like there is that kind of high in like trying to find stuff, you know? I'm just,
Yeah.
for him, it was like finding the best plan and how to execute it. But like if you could see this picture with this motorbike, like tied to the van, right? The inside of the van. And he's
Yeah.
a little guy. He's like 5'5" or 5'6". And
Yeah.
it's kind of like Tom Cruise. He's like, I guess I'm gearing up for Mission Impossible because like he's
That premiere was across the street from my hotel last night. People screaming, losing their fucking minds on the red carpet. Yeah, it was nuts. It was madhouse. Yeah. But super cool. He was right across the street. Yeah. I'm Upper West Side, right by Lincoln Center. So there's an AMC complex and they do big premieres there and just happened to be there. I know. Greatest movie star of all time. Easily. Easily. Tom Cruise
I,
is the greatest movie star of
I,
all time.
I love Tom
Yeah.
Cruise. I
Yeah.
know.
Yeah.
I
Without a
know.
doubt.
Even with all
Without a doubt.
his like,
Yeah, it's none of my
yeah,
business.
you know.
None of my bit. The only part of him that we get is when he's up on screen. That's it. Anything else, I could give a shit.
Hey,
Yeah.
I need you to be with me one last time.
No, I need you to trust me. He's not asking us to have sex with him. I need you to trust me. One last time is the line, Carolyn.
That's not like
Jesus.
that's like a ride. It's almost talk about like the
Yeah.
ride of your life.
I
Okay.
can't wait to see it. I can't wait to see it.
I,
Comes out, what, the 23rd? Comes out
comes
Friday?
out on Friday. Comes out on Friday.
Okay. You're right. I'll
Yeah.
be back in LA for that. Yeah. Right. All right. Well, listen, I got to get to bed. I got a big day tomorrow and it's after midnight in New York. But great episode. I love how well I wanted to say that I really liked the step by step of how he did it in the third part of the last half or so of the episode. Um, really, you really painted the picture, and then reverse engineering how he got away. Um, and I was really surprised that he left the goods at the spot at the individual bunker for a while before he went back to get it. That was telling you, this is one of the smartest, um, most dedicated to his craft bank robber or criminal that I think that you've covered. So,
Well, you know what? I mean, that's why he got away with it. If those kids wouldn't have gone out into those
so
woods and found that
without that,
bunker.
he could have gotten away with it forever. And so we're getting closer and closer, I think, to the perfect crime. I don't think we'll ever find it. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
But there are people out there who have gotten away, who didn't have two kids stumble upon their stash in the fucking woods. There are people who have gotten away. We're never going to know who it is because it's a perfect crime. So the perfect crime exists. We just haven't found it yet. But
Alrighty.
this was really close. This was
This
really,
was
really
really
close.
close. This is about as close as we're gonna get.
I know. I agree. I agree. So this was great. Well, listen, Nation, thank you for listening. If you liked it, please share the episode with someone who you might also think might also enjoy it. Check out our socials. Check out YouTube. We have video content on Spotify now as well. And leave a rate and a review, comment. We'll try to, respond to the comments. We like reading them, good and bad. Just everything, every little bit helps us out. Uh, Carolyn, anything you want to add?
Nope.
No? Okay, great. I
See you next week.
look forward to next week. And until then, stay safe out there, people.
Bye-bye.